And welcome back to Le Mans, where we are following Tulip Racing in their first bid for the 24-hour race. Currently, it's Bert Hoekstra driving the car. We have pretty much half an hour to go until the finish of the race. The Tulip Racing team has picked up another 2 spots since we last updated you. They are currently in the 37th position. Basically, once again, the drivers have been doing an awesome job just running their stints the way they were supposed to, trying to stay out of trouble. And when the other teams are not doing the same thing, that's when you gain your ground. So all in all, the mood in the Tulip Racing team is very upbeat. They're extremely excited to be able to finish this race. They started with a little bit of an incident on lap 2, put them back after quite some time in the pits. They moved their way up from 47th, 48th, all the way back up to now running in 37th position. And the way they ran the rest of the race has been exactly according to plan and schedule. The night especially went extremely well. The night is always a time where many people face challenges of spins, of not being able to see exactly what they're doing. And the Tulip Racing drivers, the Tulip Racing team drivers, I should say, have conducted themselves through the night with extreme diligence. They did a very, very good job in keeping the car on the track, running their laps consistently according to their abilities, and that brought them back up to the 37th spot with only half an hour to go. So the Tulip Racing machine is doing well. It may not be looking very pretty anymore, but it's still running good. The drivers are not complaining about handling problems, just a little bit of loss of top speed due to the aerodynamics being a little bit messed up. So let's take a look up front of the field and see what's going on. Scoring might be a little bit off here and there, but it's currently the blue Ferrari of the TNST1 team, driven by Danny Sanchez, that is running in the 2nd position. And for some reason, I cannot get to the Ace Blue team. There we go. Here they are. Team Ace Blue, currently driven by Alex Connor, is being scored in 1st position. They are no less than 2 laps ahead of the number 19 blue Ferrari that you just saw. So good job for them. They still look fairly unscathed, although the rear wing on that Porsche has also had a little issue. So after 24 hours, it's a rarity to find a car that has absolutely no damage at all. Even the best drivers get their share of problems and have to deal with back markers. Currently looks like the leader is not the quickest car on the track either. He's just been passed by the green Ferrari there in front. So the 3rd placed car is the red Porsche, number 26, currently driven by James Acklam. And he is also 2 laps behind the leader, so he's on the same lap as the Ferrari in 2nd place, and shown a little bit over a minute behind that one, so that's about pretty much a half a lap. Alright, so let's go back here to the Tulip Racing car in 37th position, being passed now by the 2nd place Ferrari, the TNST Ferrari. Bert Hoekstra is behind the wheel. He's going to bring it home to finish the race. And let's see if we can get one or two of the drivers up here in the booth. Hey Dave, this is Mark in the booth. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you, bud.
Hey man, we're looking at the final 25 minutes here in the race. Your teammate Bert Hoekstra is driving the car. What are your thoughts after this first 24-hour race for the Tulip Racing team?
No, it's been an experience. We've all really enjoyed it. It's a shame that we had the incident at the start, but we've pulled through and we've made a strong finish, I believe.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I mean, it's been, since that crash, it's just been going exactly to plan. Everybody running their laps as they shoot, their stints as they shoot. Everybody was consistent and stayed out of trouble. And it gained you, I would say, some 10 positions in the end there. So, Dave, was this your very first 24-hour experience, or have you done this before?
No, this is my first one. Well, first of many, I hope. I really enjoyed it. No, I really enjoyed it. It's been a great experience.
Yeah, what would you say is the hardest part of it?
Staying awake. But yeah, no, I had a phone call off of a guy. He'd like waking me up during the night, and I just try getting a few winks like. A teammate needed the toilet, so I had to jump in his car.
Yeah, those kind of issues also play. So did you get any sleep at all, Dave?
Probably an hour and a half if I was lucky.
Wow, that's crazy, man. Just a 1 hour of sleep, and you guys been running around that track for 24 hours.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's good fun though. I'll definitely do it again.
Cool. That's good to hear, man. That's awesome. So, all right, let me see if I can pull up one of your teammates here, and I'll let you be here for the rest of the race, man. It's been awesome watching you, and a great job.
Yep, no bother. I'd also like to thank you for doing your broadcasting, and a big thanks to the team. We've all pulled together really well. It's been a good effort.
Yeah, you're most welcome, Dave. And Mr. Davidson, this is Mark in the booth. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, man. I was just talking to Dave, and we've been following your race all 24 hours long with short updates. How was it for you?
Yeah, things went well. I had good pace. Me and Dave put in a pretty decent night shift, and so did Danny, and we've made quite a few decent places.
So, was this your very first 24-hour experience, or did you do this before?
I've done Daytona before, but yeah, this is my first experience.
So, how would this one compare to Daytona?
Yeah, it's a lot better. A lot tougher, though, I must say.
In what way?
Just visually, because there's lights at Daytona, it's a lot easier, and the night stints here are definitely a lot tougher.
Yeah. What makes it so tough? I mean, there's not much track lighting or street lighting or whatever you want to call it. So what's your issue there?
You know, you brake at your braking point, and then all of a sudden the apex just comes at you so fast.
Yeah, so basically the turn is not in the shine of your headlights just yet when you get there.
Yep, you have to wait till the start of the apex, and it's a bit scary.
Yeah. Well, especially during the night, you guys made up a lot of ground. So kudos to you, man. You driven some really good stints at night, together with Dave there, and during the night, you guys made up the most positions.
Yeah, it was good. And 36th are now out, so that's another position now, hopefully. So looking good.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Well, congratulations on the finish. It's too bad we had the issue on lap 2, but you guys, after that, you guys proved that there's a good teamwork, and that there's good pace in all the drivers, and that there's a good organization going here. So congratulations on finishing the race.
Thanks, man. She ain't finished yet.
Well, I mean, let's stay positive here, Alex.
Thanks, man.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
In a bit.
All right, so there you had it. That was Dave Guild and Alex Davidson, the two drivers from over the pond in England. David's from England, and Alex Davidson is from Scotland. They took a large part of the triple stints in the night, and that definitely helped out. Alex Davidson had very good pace during the night, and brought the car together with Dave and Danny. They brought the car up quite a few positions, as you recall. At midnight, they already brought it back to 43rd, and then by the time we got back on the air in the morning, they were running 39th. And now, at this point, with 19 minutes to go, they are running 37th. And as said, Bert Hoekstra, the oldest guy on the team, he is doing the. He didn't drive much during the night because he was not comfortable with that, and so he's making up for it during the daytime. Bert has also been extremely consistent in his driving, very few mistakes, and bringing it home now to finish the race. So to give the people that haven't seen the previous updates a little bit of an idea of what it was like for the guys to be going through the night, I've got a little bit of footage of the Tulip Racing car during the night. So in this footage, you're riding along with Alex Davidson, and this gives you an idea what the drivers see when they're coming down the main straight, right at the entry of that chicane that we're in right now. They would be doing about 260 kilometers an hour. They have to find their braking points. A lot of drivers use markers on the side of the track. When we're coming up at the next chicane, you will see on the right side of the track, right above the guardrail, you'll see these white signs, 300 meters, 200 meters, 100 meters, and the drivers will determine their braking points mostly according on those kinds of signs or markers along the track. Well, obviously, your headlights narrow your vision a little bit. It's a little bit more tunnel vision than it would be during the daytime. So, and as you can see coming up here, to see the apex of the turn is a little bit harder because the lights are only showing that apex at the very moment you're turning in. So that's a lot later than you would normally see that apex. And that's what Alex Davidson was talking about, which is the challenge. That's what the challenge of driving at night at Le Mans is. And as comparison, he has driven a race in Daytona once, a 24-hour race, but the Daytona track is more like a stadium. It's fully lit. They drive NASCAR races at night there as well. NASCARs don't have any headlights, so they have track lights, which make for a completely different ambience around the Daytona track if you compare it to the Le Mans track. So the Le Mans track is a 13-kilometer track. That's basically just going through the French countryside, and that's when it originated. There was it was public roads. Back in the day when this started, I believe the first race was in 1923, and in those days they would just shut down the public roads for a weekend and go racing and put some straw bales up for safety, if you could call it that. And that has evolved into a semi-permanent track. Parts of the track, like the Mulsanne Strait, are still part of the public roads around Le Mans. And the part that we're on now, that's a permanent part of the track. That is not a public road. So there's also a shorter version of the track, which is called the Le Mans Bugatti Circuit. And that's a permanent track. So the extended part with the Mulsanne Straight, that is still public road. Beautiful facility, a beautiful pit building there on the right with the grandstands on top of the pits, and then also on the left side of the track. So very special place to go if you ever get a chance in Europe and you can go see cars race there. Don't miss out. All right, we're 15 minutes from seeing the checkered flag in this race, and Bert Hoekstra is still running his laps. And we can quickly take a look. His last lap was a 4:03. Ooh, and he has a little issue, a little off there. Brings it back on the track. Good job. Gets passed by another car. And it looks like everybody at this point is basically in finish the race mode. There's no direct battles going on anymore. The race has pretty much been run. And it looks like the Tulip Racing team has actually picked up another position. Scoring shows them in 36th position. That means that there's been another team that's either had some issues or lost some time. And it could be that it's the Pegasus car, the Ferrari, that is actually a car that they've been chasing for a while. That had some damage, and they were gaining time-wise per lap. They were gaining about 9 seconds. So it looks like Tulip Racing team has finally passed that car in the closing stages of the race, picking up position number 36. So it gets better all the time. So looks like Bert has recovered himself and found his line again and found his rhythm again. The laps are currently not the fastest he's ever run, but that's okay. They're just bringing it home right now. 13 more minutes to go. Take another quick look at the Pegasus team. They're still in the pits. And there's one here that's the 20th position, Samsoit Black. As I said, the entire race has been hindered a little bit by scoring issues that we believe find their origin with iRacing. But as far as I can tell, this scoring that you see on the left of your screen should be correct, and it shows the Tulip Racing team in 36th position. And obviously we acknowledge the winners here. The number 8 car in first position. The green Porsche of the Ace Blue team, currently driven by Alex Connor. And they've been showing very strong all race long. They're 2 laps ahead of the second placed car. The TNST car driven by Danny Sanchez. We saw them earlier going by our Tulip Racing friends. The third place car is the red Porsche number 26 driven by James Acklam. The BRM Racing machine. In a beautiful metallic livery. And it looks to me that the fourth place car is the CCTS Esports car, the number 15 Porsche of Jos Smets. And it looks like the fifth place car is the Pepe Racing team, currently driven by Nicolas Gonzalez. And in sixth position, we have Sim Racing House, the 667 car. Beautiful livery on that Porsche. It looks like that's one of the very few cars that's pretty unscathed. Well, it's got a little bit of damage on the front end. It's currently driven by Olivier Godard, and behind them in the number 7 position we have the 9 Shiza Autosport Red, currently driven by John Adawis, a beautiful Ford GT. Very good looking car. And then in number 8 position, it's the Project Racing Team car, a Porsche driven by Daniel Benefield. Then it's a Ferrari driven by Craig Molnar, the Trek Limit Racing Team. And in 10th position, we see the Helix Racing, the number 368, currently driven by Dennis Crumry. Let's go and check back on our Tulip Racing friends here. We have about 10 minutes to go. So with laps of almost 4 minutes, we're currently probably looking at another 3 laps. Bert Hoekstra behind the wheel still. We can ride along with him here for a little bit. And that was a little ride along with Bert Hoekstra on the Mulsanne Straight. The Mulsanne Straight used to be on the older track. It used to be without those chicanes, so it would be I believe it was a 6 or 7 kilometer long straightaway, where back in the old days, even in the 70s and 60s, the cars would reach something like 300 to 320 kilometers per hour, with absolutely no brakes to speak of in those days, if you compare it to the carbon fiber brakes that cars are using these days. So yeah, there's a lot of history here. Unfortunately, there's also a lot of tragedy here. If you've never seen the movie Le Mans with Steve McQueen starring, which is a depiction of the 1971 Le Mans race, with the beautiful blue Gulf Porsche and red Ferraris battling for the win. Steve McQueen starring as one of the drivers in the Porsche team. That'll give you a really good idea about how the Le Mans race was in the 60s and 70s. Some famous drivers have won here. Jackie Ickx, Derek Bell has won here. Porsche, obviously, as a manufacturer, has been. There's been years in the 70s and 80s that Porsche was absolutely dominant, and pretty much all the major manufacturers have tried their shot at Le Mans. Another fun movie to watch, if you enjoy this kind of racing, is the movie that talks about the life of Shelby Cobra, Carroll Shelby, and that's a little bit earlier than the Le Mans movie with Steve McQueen. That's in the 60s, when Ford decided to go back into racing and try to beat Ferrari. And for those of you, especially in Europe, people that enjoy comic books, the Belgian comic book writer Jean Graton has a series of books of his hero called Michel Vaillant, and there's plenty of episodes of books in that series that deal with the Le Mans race, and one of the most beautiful comic books about this race is undoubtedly a book called Number 13 at the Start, in which Michel Vaillant and his friends are taking on the Le Mans race with 4 teams, and it's a beautiful story. It's beautifully drawn by a Belgian graphic artist, Jean Graton. Five more minutes to go. The Tulip Racing machine being driven by Bert Hoekstra. I would think that there's maybe 1 or 2 laps left in this race. And currently shown behind Tulip Racing is this white Ferrari. And they're 1 lap behind our friends of Tulip Racing. The Panda Racing team, they are shown also 1 lap behind Tulip Racing. And it looks like that car's had a pretty good beating as well, and took some damage. And it's not going very fast anymore. They're also just basically trying to bring it home. Rudy Lassine currently driving this car. So we're definitely in the closing stages here. Guys are hoping to cross the line and take that checkered flag. And obviously it's been a long day for everybody. 24 hours of racing. You heard David Guild and Alex Davidson talk about how it went and how little sleep those guys have been running on. And it's not an easy thing to concentrate that long. They're driving, most of the time the drivers will be driving stints of 2 to 3 hours. Depends a little bit on how many drivers is in the team. Tulip Racing did it with 4. They have to have a minimum of 2 drivers, and they have a maximum of 16. I don't think there's any teams with that many drivers. But mostly you'll see driving teams splitting the job between 3 to 5 drivers in these races. Well, let's go back to Bert here. Last minutes ticking away. I'm guessing he's going to have 1 more lap. He's almost coming back down to the pit area. Start-finish straight. Currently in the Porsche S's. There you see the buildings in the distance. That's the pit lane entrance that you see there. You should be good on fuel now. And my guess is this will probably be the final lap. It depends a little bit on when the leader passed the line. And we can try and find the leaders here real quick. The leaders the leader might have 1 more lap to go. He's coming up to the Porsche S's. As you see, 2 slower cars. Cars probably damaged. Guys struggling to bring it back. Actually, that is the leading team. And he's probably slowing down to avoid having to do another lap. That's probably the reason they're doing that. Maybe this is their way of making sure that they can slowly drive it across the finish line to take their victory. A minute and 17 seconds. And you see this a lot in Le Mans. After 24 hours, the battles are done. The racing is pretty much over. So the leading car will come over the finish in a slow fashion, you know, just waving at the crowd. Cars lining up behind there, and it looks like they're all ready for a photo op. And everybody that's passing the leader there is obviously going to have to run another lap. 36 seconds. So yes, I'm pretty sure that the leader will take the checkered flag here. Cars lining up behind him. And let's find the Tulip Racing machine here real quickly. There you go, 18 seconds. I'm not sure if he was given the checkered flag or not. He may have to do another lap. All right, let's find the Tulip Racing car here. At the end of the Mulsanne straight, turning right. The official race time has now expired. And let me see if I can tell the leader. I think the leader has to do another lap. He kind of threw everybody off there. Yep, I definitely think that he has to do another lap. And that would also mean that Bert would have to do another lap. We have a little issue here with the connection once again. Once again, that is on my end. That's unfortunately nothing I can do about it. The Tulip Racing car still running. Oh, Bert running a little bit wide there. And like I said, I believe that Bert will have to run one more lap after this because the leader took another lap right before the time expired. Yeah, looks like we're doing one more lap here. Let's Hey, Dave, can you hear me?
Yes, mate.
Are we on the final lap now, or is it over?
Final
Yeah,
lap.
no, final lap.
Final lap, that's what I thought. All right, thank you, man.
All right.
So yeah, there you have it. Dave and Alex are awaiting the finish of their teammate Bert Hoekstra. We did have one more lap to go, so the leader did indeed not cross the finish line just yet. Let's go check back on that leading car here. He will be coming up to the Porsche S's soon, and that'll be the end of it. Team Ace Blue, currently driven by Alex Connor, is going to be taking home the win. First place in Le Mans. This split only had GTE cars in it, so a strong field to beat. All similar cars. It's a Porsche that wins over a Ferrari. There you can see the pit complex in the background. Alex Connor coming up, and let's give him his moment of joy here, finishing this race in first position. Oh, slow car. There he comes. There, he takes the win, flashes his light in celebration. He takes the win in the 24 Hours of Le Mans current split. The second place car, the TNST of Danny Sanchez. He's approaching the Porsche S's as well. and the same for the red Porsche, the number 26 in third place. So let's go and find Bert. There we have him. Bert is also on his way to the Porsche S's. No, he's not quite that far yet. He's just come off the Mulsanne straight. And I apologize. We once again have a little bit of a connection issue here. I can guarantee you that's not what Bert was seeing. That's on my end here. So Bert is coming through the Porsche S's as we speak, bringing it home in 36th position. The Tulip Racing team has completed their first 24 hours of Le Mans. It's been a great experience for all the drivers. We heard Alex talk about it. We heard Dave Guild talk about it. It was his first experience as an endurance racer, and he wants to do it again, obviously. And so let's finish the car here, and see if we can talk to Bert and his son Denny. Bert waving the car. I bet you they're overjoyed to having finished this race. Hey Bert, this is Mark in the booth. Can you hear me?
Hey, Mark.
Hey Bert, can you hear me, bud?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Well, first of all, congratulations. You brought the car home in 36th position for the team. What are your thoughts, man?
It was a tough race, but it was very nice to do. I enjoyed it.
So this was also your very first 24-hour experience, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
As Danny also.
So what are your thoughts? What was the hardest for you?
The other drivers who pass you left and right and bump you in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was stupid and terrible. But yeah, you have to keep on focusing. And yeah, with such a start, I didn't notice that we shouldn't finish. So that's a bonus.
Yeah. So so what you're saying is that dealing with traffic is pretty difficult. I noticed that you didn't do much driving at night. I know that was your choice. You made up for it during the day. Your last two stints were extremely consistent and good. So you did your part there. I'm really proud for the team. I think you guys did an awesome job. You brought it home in 36th. Team made up quite a bit of ground during the night.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, and I'm happy with all of them. They did an amazing job. So thank you, David. And thank you, Alexander, also. And of course, Danny. They did a really good job.
Awesome. So let's see if we can talk to Danny here. Danny, can you hear me?
Well done, lads.
All right, man. We brought it home in 36th position. What are your thoughts?
Well, yeah, like stated before, it was a tough one because of the bad start and the 40 minutes of repair. But yeah, we managed to get back and take on 16 spots to become 36. Yeah, I'm very happy with that.
Yeah, your dad just said also for you this was the very first attempt of a 24-hour race that you ever done. What is your thoughts on that? What is the difficulty compared to the regular racing that you do? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's a completely different mindset. In these races, you got to be consistent and don't worry about lap times because it's more important to stay out of trouble, which we didn't manage to do, unfortunately. But yeah, that's a totally different mindset. And as well, when you do when we did the night, we did like triple stints. That's 2.5, 3 hours, and it's quite hard to stay focused for that long and don't get any itches or other pains or cramps.
Having to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure. Long stints like that are challenging. Is it hard to keep your focus in the dark?
No, for me it was not such a big a deal. But I think the more difficult was just like the duration of the stints, and especially when you had like 2 hours sleep and you got to do a triple stint. Well, that's quite challenging, I gotta say. But
Yeah,
yeah, I think we managed to do a great job. A great job.
yeah. Like you said, I mean, it was a little unfortunate that early in the race there was trouble. I believe it was lap two. You
Hmm.
spend a lot of time in the pits, but after that, I would say that the team pretty much worked its plan, and the plan worked out pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't even thinking we could have a schedule on such races, but we managed to kind of stay on track.
Yeah. All right, guys. Is there anything anybody wants to add to this? I've talked to all four of you. I think the general consensus is that Tulip Racing is happy to bring it home after a long day and a long night of racing. Unfortunate beginning, but we hung in there and brought it home in 36th position. So anybody want to throw out any love yous, thank yous, and whatnot? Please do so.
Just
Love you,
bring on the
Bert.
next one.
Nah, thanks everybody. It was good fun.
All right,
Yeah,
that
thanks to Mark, of course, for being our star all night.
Yep,
yeah,
thanks, mate.
you're welcome. And I enjoyed it from my point of view just as much, I think, as you did. But there's a good chance I might be doing one of these myself.
I can see.
Yeah. All right. Once again, guys, congratulations on a job well done. Uh, 24 hours, long race, little sleep, hard to keep the concentration going. This has been a very exciting weekend for all five of us, I believe. So thanks very much for letting me be a part of it, and I hope your family and friends have enjoyed the short updates during the race and the broadcasts here at the end and the beginning. And we cannot wait until the next one comes. So Tulip Racing and Le Mans will definitely be two names that we will see joined together in the future, and we will do better than this one for sure.
Tulip
Yeah,
racing and endurance racing is definitely going to
yeah,
be married.
Yes, that
yeah,
that's. I mean, it's not only Le Mans that where we have these endurance races. Obviously, there's Daytona, there's Sebring, there's all kinds of races that are endurance style racing. So yeah, it'll be fun to see if Tulip Racing can make a name for itself in those kinds of races.
yeah.
Uh,
Hope so.
All right, everybody. Bert, anything to add from your side?
I can only say thank you guys and thank you, Mark, for yeah, doing an amazing job also.
Uh,
Very appreciated. And I hope to stick together a long time. And maybe next time you can join us in the car.
well, we'll definitely try. Absolutely. All right, guys. Once again, congratulations on a job well done. I enjoyed myself very much, and I hope your family and friends that watched this had a chance to follow the race this way with you guys. And Blip Shift Broadcasting will be back with other broadcasts, obviously. So stick around and watch the channel for new broadcasts and for now, this has been Tulip Racing Endurance Class challenge, taking on the challenge of the 24 Hours of Le Mans, finishing 36th after a poor start, but a great rest of the race to make up for it. So once again, thank you all for watching. Congratulations to the guys and the team, and we will be back with more endurance racing in the Tulip Racing team. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Cheers.
Jesus, my license went up from 4.58